What's up everybody, Nick Pritchard here from Rugby Fitness Workouts, and this week I'm going to be talking to you about my exam results. Now, a lot of you are going to be saying, how is this relevant to your channel? How is this relevant to rugby? And I'm here to tell you that it's all down to the mentality. How you think on the rugby pitch, how you think in the exam hall, how you think in all aspects of life, is all connected. So the overall picture for me, at AS level, I got 3 Bs and a C. I got a C in maths, a B in physics, a B in chemistry and a B in PE. And at that point in time I was actually quite disappointed, and I said, you know, this is unacceptable. Not unacceptable because my teachers told me it was unacceptable, because my parents told me it was unacceptable. It was unacceptable because of the standards that I'd set myself and that I hadn't performed in the way that I wanted to. So I just got my grades today and I got 2 A stars and an A. I got an A star in maths, an A star in PE and an A in physics. The point is, when it came to my AS results, I had 2 decisions. I could either continue the way I had and stick with the results that I was going to get, or I could say, look, this isn't what I want something better than this, and I'm going to work as hard as I can, do whatever it takes to get better results. Now, this mentality, this way of thinking, is the same approach that I would take onto the rugby field, that I would take into a job interview, that I would take into any form, any aspect of life. I would take that mentality in. If I was going to go on the rugby field and I didn't perform the way I wanted to, I'd set my standards and I'd say, look, you can either continue at what you're doing, or you can make a decision to improve and work hard and train harder. Funnily enough, during the exam period I actually learned a lot about myself. I learned different parts of myself that I wouldn't learn on the rugby field, that I wouldn't learn in the gym. And this was purely because I was taking my mental capacity to its extremes. You know, I was, for the 4 months of solid revision, I was getting up at 7, 8 o'clock, and I wasn't getting home until 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, and I was doing the same thing 7 days a week, over and over again. You know, there were times where I did 24-hour revision sessions back to back, and I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, I wouldn't do it again, but it was experimenting in the same way that I'd go to the gym and, you know, maybe one day I'll decide to press for 200 reps just to experiment, see how my body reacts, see what benefits I'd gain from that sort of exercise. I started to think to myself during the exam period, you know, if I can do this much to my brain, if I can work this hard mentally, then why can't I do that physically? Obviously there are physical limitations, fatigue limitations, but I was realising that actually, you know, you can work a lot harder than you actually think you can work. I started to think, you know, if I can improve 6-7 grades in the space of a year academically, then what can I do on the rugby pitch? What can I do in the gym? What can I do for my career in rugby in the space of a year? Throughout the whole year I had a lot of doubters, a lot of people that didn't believe what I was going to do. You know, when I said I'm going to get A stars at the end of this year, people would laugh at me, and you know, they had reason to. I mean, looking at my AS results, you wouldn't have thought, you know, this guy's going to get 2 A stars and an A at the end of this year. And you know, it didn't help the fact that I didn't really do it the conventional way. For some reason or another, I didn't get on with my maths teacher. There wasn't that sort of connection, and I decided to stop going to maths classes. I went to hardly any maths classes, and you know, I backed myself to teach myself the syllabus, and effectively, you know, I taught myself the syllabus for maths for that year. Again, that's not something I'd recommend. That's just how I did it. I wouldn't advise doing that at all. A lot of people say to me, you know, I don't have time to do what you did, to do that amount of hours. And you know, throughout that year, for me to get to training, rugby training, I would travel 3 hours to get to training, and it would be a 2-hour session, and I'd travel 3 hours to get home. I'd get home straight from school, I'd catch multiple trains, you know, and I wouldn't get home until past midnight on a lot of days of the week. And you know, so, and I mean, I'm not going to go through my whole life story, but I had a lot on, as well as those A levels. And I think the point I'm trying to make is, if you can prioritise things, and if you can really set your goals straight, then you're really capable of anything that you want to do. If you want a goal, you know, what do you want? Set your goal, and you're going to make it by making these sacrifices, by prioritising things. Anything's possible. One of the hardest things for me to achieve my goal throughout this year was the fact that I couldn't really train in the way that I wanted to. I couldn't prioritise my training for a whole year. My priority was to get my grades, and this came as a consequence for my training. I wasn't hitting the gym as much as I wanted to, as hard as I wanted to, with as much passion as I wanted to, and you know, I did get out of shape a little bit. For me, that was mentally the hardest part of the whole journey of this last year. But I suppose the main point that I wanted to make by making this video is that no matter all these videos that I've done in the past about the physical components of rugby, the one thing that stands out the most for me and is the most important concept is the mentality of rugby, the mentality that you take in any pathway of life. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you all got the grades that you wanted and you're going to the universities that you wanted to go to, and all the best, and stay tuned. I've got a video coming up on speed, and that should be coming out. We'll be filming this weekend and that should be coming out shortly. Thanks for watching.